The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
I'd sit alone and watch your light, my only friend through teenage nights. And everything I had to know, I heard it on my radio.
Good evening and welcome back, Gotham. Good evening, Metropolis. Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS and the rest of you. I am Scooter McGee. Welcome to Hour 2 of a Quantum News Network production, the Scooter McGee Show. You can find us at 1310kfk.com. If you're on social media, click the box to watch the show. We're live inside the CRP 4x4 studios. Since you're on social media, this first story about you being one Twitter or tweet away from losing your job. Get this. I don't even want to say. I said we were going to stop doing this, but okay. I had a very long conversation today, and I always say when I start saying this and it starts coming out of my mouth, I'm not going to like the taste of it. I was having a conversation today with my agent. Yes. Rather long, interesting one. And it's only been in the last 3 months of a lot of writing and a lot of soul searching and a lot of thinking and a lot of drinking. But that started at Christmas time. And I've said this on air. In public, if I'm with friends and I'm with my circle, then I know I'm safe when I do this. And we'll be out in public, and I mean, it is sundress season, so I mean, everyone's got their permits at least. All right, they've hidden their jewelry accordingly. But what do you do? I mean, the conversation's going to come up. What do you do for a living? And I lie. But I don't lie and give myself a great job title or anything like that, like most guys do. I came up with a reply over the years. I've tried and been shot down with a lot of lines, which are also lies. But what do? I'm a probate lawyer. That conversation 9,999 times out of 10,000 goes nowhere. Boom! Dead. Now, if you're interested in me, you're going to keep talking to me. If you're out looking, you got whatever, probate lawyer. Ooh, I only do that because there are places that I like to attend once in a while. You tell people you're a mortician and you might not be invited back in the building. So, I have also said that I'm ashamed to be calling myself a broadcaster in the light of coverage of administrative behaviors and political commentary accordingly, because journalists and broadcasters aren't doing their jobs. They're more worried about keeping them. I really don't like the word entertainer. And yet, it apparently is what I am. Okay, well, I don't find myself very entertaining. Apparently, listeners do. For whatever reason, fine. Haters do too. Okay, for whatever reason, fine. I give up. Back to this next term I don't like. Public figure. I'm watching a public figure locally right now. One argument is being eviscerated and playing the victim card, but it's not. I mean, you're the one who threw the card. You had the cards in your hand at the table. You didn't have to play that card. You played the card. And in playing the card, you say, I normally never do this, but that's when I tell you, shut up. I've been doing this. In October, it's going to be 34 years. I've seen this happen too many times, and I've never seen a positive outcome yet. The term public figure. This coming from MarketWatch. First sentence of the headline. If you use Twitter, you too are a public figure. So much for everybody getting their 15 minutes of fame. All you need now is an email address and boom, you're a public figure. All right. And one egregious tweet can blow up your life. The behavior from both the left, the right, and the third side of the coin, all of their behavior now is unexplainable. It's been 72 hours. It owns the news cycle. ABC, of course, cancels the wildly successful reboot of Roseanne after Roseanne writes what is being called a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett. I'd like to point out and go on record that Valerie Jarrett is not African American. She's Iranian. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Roseanne Barr apologizes, but the damage is done. Members of her cast and ABC executives denounce her. 11 hours after the original tweet, Roseanne is off the air. President of ABC Entertainment, who is black, point, not African American in the story, black, said that Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with the values we've decided to cancel her show. Okay. The swiftness of ABC's response, interesting. According to Aram Seinrich, professor of communications at the American University in the District of Criminals, the swiftness of ABC's response is a testament to the diversity. Wow. It helps that there's an African-American woman calling the shot. That's the head of ABC. The left brings up African-American. Standard print, black, white, you're bringing this up, but Valerie is Iranian. Sorry. It is a problem. Trump using the Twitter cycles and feeds, creating a new feeding frenzy on social media. The ability to gang up on one's statements. Roseanne's initial comments regarding the Muslim Brotherhood and Valerie Jarrett in Planet of the Apes. Anyone with cognitive brain cells, well, this doesn't, what's the jive missy? Is there a punch? What? Ambien. And it's not Roseanne Barr's first racist tweet. So why now? Again, companies have to now hire rapid response war rooms for social media. That's messed up. But the political climate now putting all employers on high alert when it comes to the words and the behaviors of their employees. The professor, we understood to be private citizens, but when someone's public, face of public, a corporation should be held accountable for the actions of the individual. Holy, this guy needs to go outside, play in traffic. Hold on, Professor, Professor Aram, Seinrich, Communications, American University, District of Criminals. We understood to be private citizens, comma. But when someone is the public face of a public corporation, comma, that individual should and must be held accountable for the actions of that individual. Holy. Apparently, it's just been brought to my attention shy of the break here from the CRP 4x4 studios. They don't have a pocket constitution laying around American University in the District of Criminals. Stand by.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry, so many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
What's the secret to getting any vehicle to last over 200,000 miles? Pretty simple. It's all about reasonable maintenance. At Auto Tailor in Greeley, the maintenance packages are a great way to stay on top of your vehicle's condition, not to mention giving you peace of mind. At Auto Tailor, you won't be given an unrealistic list of the 1,000 fixes needed to make your car new again. You'll be told what the problems are and the fastest way to fix them, so you'll be back on the road safely. Give it an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Auto Tailor is the smart, reliable choice for your vehicle.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market. And it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change. But Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
Mrs. Baker, Billy is going to be just fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
We'll just need to get his leg in a splint.
Why use an expensive splint when this tree branch will do the trick?
If he appears to be in pain, we may need to prescribe something.
A prescription? Just give him some cough syrup like all the other parents do.
Billy's also going to need a local anesthetic when we stitch that wound.
Oh, Billy doesn't need any anesthetic. He's a tough kid, aren't you, Billy? High five!
Ow!
Aren't you glad you're not Billy? This scenario is not far from how your vehicle is treated when you take it to a direct repair shop recommended by your insurance company's claims department. They'll push the shops to take shortcuts on your repairs in hopes that you don't notice. This is Mike Morris, owner of Auto Collision Specialists. I promise that the only person in charge of your repair will be you. Our commitment at Auto Collision Specialists is to restore every customer's car to pre-accident condition. After all, isn't that why you paid your monthly premium? When you want control of your next repair, give me a call at 970-356-8645.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember Another Man's Treasure.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
Children of the night, what music they make.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Okay, welcome back, Gotham High. This is going to piss a lot of people off quick. Good. More time to get news. Welcome back to a Quantum News Network production of Scooter McGee Show. I'm he. Find me on the World Wide Web, 1310kfk.com, social media platforms of Twitter and Facebook. You will see a box that says if you want to watch the show, click the show, it'll watch. You can open, you can do it, listen for it for free. Do it on your smartphone, do it on your desktop, your laptop. All right? Now, new website, thescootermcgeeshow.com. It's generic right now. There's a contact box. That goes to my smartphone and the web designers. Whatever you want, guys want, or, well, I'm sorry, gals. We'll even accept comments from Russian women. Pre-czar, if possible. Don't know how they'd get on the internet, but okay. Yes, so the scootermcgeeshow.com. If there's something on the internet that you, or on this show's news page that you want, you tell us, As long as it's doable, we'll put it up there for you. Back to this Twitter thing, and that your next tweet can cost you your job. This is, and I've been saying this. I hate this platform. They forced us to do this. Again, I don't like saying the names because they don't pay us. It's not that I want to be paid for everything I say, but my point is hundreds of billions of dollars, and why? Because it's just repeated to the point of bang. It's like Heinz ketchup. Anticipate. It's stuck in an entire generation, and we're screwed. It is by definition, by design, an addicted platform, addictive in nature, forcing you to become addicted, wanting only more and more. We know all about throttling bandwidth and putting more data on it to increase how much data packages you need with the cell companies. We know about collusion with the apps in tracking your data. We know about turning on and turning off the microphones at will, and yet you're addicted. You won't give it up. Equally guilty. I know cigarettes are bad. I know they're going to kill me. I'm trying to give them up. And then a video appears and Uncas calls and busts my balls because I'm smoking. I didn't mean to call calls and balls to alliteration, and I meant testicles. No, I didn't realize. I was in the car and I had a little tirade and I was in the car smoking, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a call getting yelled at because when did you start smoking cigars? 1983. You don't smoke them around women, I'm sorry. I was alone in my car. Oh, but there's a YouTube video. Oh, I'm sorry. Roseanne Barr, 72 hours plus into the cycle, it's all consuming. People are frustrated with the lack of consequences when President Trump tweets racially tinged comments. And until the president's held accountable for the outrageous volume of hate speech that he generates, proxies are going to continue to come under the gun. This coming from the same professor. People plugged into the news cycle all day long. I've pointed this out. This coming back from 2016 data. You're working less than 5 hours a day at work because you're spending all this time on your smartphones and social media. Most office managers, most employers think their staff is productive now fewer than 5 hours a day in a standard 8-hour day. First Amendment protects free speech, but it may not protect your job. That's if you do or say anything that's contrary to your company's values, even if it's a joke. In employment at-will states, employees without a contract fired without cause. Donna Francovala. I wish I'd made that made up. I can visualize out of the gutter. She says Twitter is today's PR newswire. Donna Francovala, communications specialist in Birmingham, Alabama. We will not hold that against her. The accent may work for her. Misogynistic pig. See, again, I may want to take a quick peek. I may want a little dinner and dancing. Maybe try and cop a feel. I don't hear any violence in it. Still trying to get that idiot out from Virginia out of my head. Twitter's today's PR newswire. We all think we're talking to our followers, and we think that they're all loyal to us. And if we issue an opinion, they'll agree. Donna? You just lost 3 notches there. I don't expect people to agree with me. I don't expect any of you to believe anything I ever say, including this story coming off social media. Market Watch, it's up at 1310kfk.com. You go read it, go look at it. She go, well, that's not the case. Oftentimes, many people who follow Trump, for instance, may disagree with his views. Yeah, tell that to the media when they keep pointing out how many millions of Twitter followers he has. Donna Francavella says, it never used to be that way. Social media used to just be you and your friends. But now we're using this new megaphone to express our ideas to a much larger audience. Anyone with a public Twitter account is a de facto public figure. I got a big problem with that statement. She says, we have to be mindful of every word we speak and of everything we write. Oh, she just lost another 8 notches. On a scale of 1 to 10, not knowing looks or voice or brain cells or anything, statements alone went from a 10 to a -1. Still doesn't mean I don't want to meet and maybe feed one of the animals. Never suggested taking it out baby harp seal hunting or anything. Infamous cases. For example, Justine Sackow, the PR executive for Interactive Corp, running dating websites, Match.com and OkCupid, fired after tweeting offensive comments about AIDS in Africa. Before stepping on a plane to go there, her tweet went, quote, viral while she was on the flight. The company then came out and said, at the time, the offensive comment does not reflect the views and the values of IAC. Justine Sackow later apologized for being insensitive to the AIDS crisis in Africa. And later said the tweet was intended to be satirical. Doesn't matter, damage was done. Anthony Weiner, remember all? Oh, you do remember. 21-month prison sentence for having a little sex with sexting there with a minor. He, of course, married to Hillary Rodham Clinton close ally Huma Abedin. Yeah, another little sex problem there, but we're running out of time here from the bottom of the hour. Weiner, of course, resigned in 2011 June after sending sexually explicit photos of himself to a college kid over Twitter. At the time, of course, Weiner claimed his account was hacked. Then he loses his $174,000 a year job, the standard salary members for those of the White House and the Senate, walks away with the equivalent of about $1.2 million in retirement benefits after being just in office for about a dozen years. Well, later he expressed remorse. The destructive impulses brought great devastation to family and friends and destroyed my life stream of public service. He's in the private sector. He's got a wad full of money. And even Huma Abedin running with Hillary. We're getting divorced now. I'm leaving him. Filing papers tomorrow. They'll still be married tomorrow as of June 1st, 2018. I'm Scooter McGee. We'll be back.
1310 KFKA's First Alert Weather, powered by Denver 7.
Partly cloudy skies for northern Colorado tonight with lows in the mid-50s. Highs near 90 degrees tomorrow afternoon. It'll be sunny and breezy, and we'll be in the low 80s over the weekend with sunshine. I'm Denver 7 meteorologist Stacey Donaldson, 1310 KFKA.
This weather update is brought to you by CRP 4x4, located at the corner of 9th Street and 21st Avenue in Greeley. Call them at 970-351-8603.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember Another Man's Treasure.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry. So many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
What's the secret to getting any vehicle to last over 200,000 miles? Pretty simple. It's all about reasonable maintenance. At Auto Tailor in Greeley, the maintenance packages are a great way to stay on top of your vehicle's condition, not to mention giving you peace of mind. At Auto Tailor, you won't be given an unrealistic list of the 1,000 fixes needed to make your car new again. You'll be told what the problems are and the fastest way to fix them, so you'll be back on the road safely. Give it an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Auto Tailor is the smart, reliable choice for your vehicle.
Mental health and addiction issues affect 1 in 4 people. Most of us have faced a behavioral health challenge or love someone who has. North Range Behavioral Health Treatment programs work. People really can recover and become stronger. They offer programs to help you and your family, no matter your age, in many Weld County locations, including crisis support services, a counseling center in West Greeley, and additional offices in Greeley, Frederick, and Fort Lupton. For information, call 970-347-2120 or in Southern Weld County, 303-857-2723.
Last time on the Hull Show.
Kelly Lyle joining us from the Fort Collins, Colorado, and our CSU Rams insider. There's a lot of question marks surrounding Colorado State's football team.
There really are, more than I think we've seen in a while. Where you've had kind of some established stars, some guys you knew you could just count on. But there's nobody going into the season that really fits that on this team, and that was kind of shocking.
This has been the Hull Show replay. For more, tune in weekdays from 11 to 1 on 1310 KFKA. Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Well, this one doesn't count, but here we go. Welcome back. I'm Scooter McGee. We're live in the CRP 4x4 studios. This music tells us it's time for On This Day in Illuminati History. Taking a look at the headlines back in time. Headlines for tomorrow, June 1st now. We are on major false flag alert. By the way, Third Eye said something spooky last night regarding the NHL, and now something's happened in the United Kingdom. Guys, remind me after this segment. All right. Ahead back in time we go, June 1. It is tomorrow, 1774. The British government now ordering the port of Boston closed. Gee, I wonder what just happened there back then. It is 1789, the first U.S. congressional act, that on administering oaths, becomes law. It is tomorrow, 1792, Kentucky becomes the 15th state of the United States. 1796, Tennessee becomes the 16th state. It is on this day, 1861, the first skirmish of the U.S. Civil War now takes place at the Fairfax Courthouse in Virginia. 1869. The Wizard of Menlo Park, Thomas Alva Edison receives his patent for the electronic voting machine. It is 1877. U.S. troops now authorized to pursue bandits into Mexico. It is on this day, 1892, the General Electric Company, GE, now begins operations after the merger of Edison General Electric and Thomson Houston Electric Companies. Turning the century, 1915, Germany now conducts its first Zeppelin raid over England. It is 1916 here in the United States. The National Defense Act, that increases the strength of U.S. National Guardsmen by 450,000 men. It is on this day, 1921, race riots erupt in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 85 dead. 1939, the Douglas DC-4 makes its first passenger flight from Chicago to New York City. World War II history. 1941, the German army now completes the capture of Crete as the Allied evacuation ends. The following year, 1942, U.S. begins sending the Lend-Lease materials now to the Soviet Union. 1943, Germans shoot down a civilian flight from Lisbon to London. 1944, the French resistance is now warned by a coded message from the British. Stand by. D-Day is imminent. It is 1958. Charles de Gaulle becomes the Premier of France. 1958, IBM ends the design of machines that contain electronic tubes. That's 11 years after Roswell. Interesting. 1997, the Soviet Union charges Jewish human rights activist Anatoly Charnensky with treason. He's imprisoned until 1986. Tomorrow, 6/1, 1980. I know where I was. I know what I was doing. There was, and I've back and forth on this man and who he's married to. The little network that couldn't. Tomorrow, June 1st, 1980, CNN goes on the air. Now, it was what it was. It was CNN then. It's not CNN now. I don't know what it is. Anyway, 2008, June 1st. The Phoenix, this the Martian lander, the first NASA spacecraft to grab the scoop of the Martian soil in the quest for finding water or ice. They didn't find it on the first scoop, they found it on the second one. And 2009, the financial collapse. Cash for clunkers. General Motors files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That filing made General Motors again, this isn't Lehman Brothers. That filing made General Motors the largest U.S. industrial company to enter bankruptcy protection. Tomorrow, June 1st, 2009. So those are your headlines back in time for On This Day in Illuminati history. We get rid of those. Sex on Mars. Wow. That's what the kids going to school now, hiding in rooms, working with slide rules are coming up with. The idea of a colony of humans on Mars is not just science fiction anymore. NASA and the space agencies around the world, along with independent scientists, researchers, and individual corporations, working hard to determine just what it's going to take for humanity to take root now on the red planet of Mars. Getting there, of course, will be an immense challenge, as will setting up the structures, creating sustainable sources of food, atmosphere, water, battling the inhospitable environments. Yeah, enough trying to sell that to us, would you already? But sex might be the hardest risk of all. Who in the wide world of sports, we're going to have to figure out the radiation, yep, and the telemetry, yep, and the exact fuel weight-to-air ratio and zero gravity while we travel 28,600 miles a second. You don't suppose there's any shot of us getting lucky on this trip, do you? Where does that come up in the discussion? Hey, Houston. Hey, we're looking in the survival kit. We're missing a couple things here. Even Slim Pickens joked about it in the ration emergency kits that they had on Strangelove's little shoe. By the way, that scene was changed to say Vegas because Kennedy had just been shot. True story. Having sex on Mars might be the biggest risk of all. Well, in the vacuum of space, I wouldn't necessarily want to open that zipper, no. In a new research paper published in Futures, which I guess is porn for the astrophysicists, an international team of scientists examining the challenges of reproduction on Mars. Oh, they say, sure, it's risky. But, big but, if humans succeed in conceiving, carrying, and birthing offspring on another world, it might actually be the start of a new species. Oh, dear God. I don't remember one science fiction movie where this has a good outcome. In the paper, researchers tackle the huge number of potential problems that can crop up when humans are finally ready to rear their young on Mars. First and most obvious hurdle would be the low-gravity environment. I've never seen a problem there before. That could pose serious threats to the conception and pregnancy processes that seem so simple here on Earth. I didn't realize it was that simple here on Earth. With just 1/3 the gravity of Earth, Mars travelers would be subjected to a whole range of health problems. Scientists know this because astronauts who spent months, and in some cases a year plus, in the space station closely studied for changes in their biology. The best, most latest study is the NASA astronaut and the twin study, because he has a twin. And what effects, if any, can be measured by long-term endurance in space? So as they study changes for biology, for example, lower gravity causes muscles to deteriorate rapidly. That could, in theory, well, it can. They know that it can weaken bone structure. On top of that, astronauts sometimes experience vision problems. There have even been documented cases of astronauts having changes to the shapes of their brains. So these are just some of the things that we at least know that otherwise perfectly healthy adults have to deal with in space, which is actually to say nothing of the physical challenge of a woman carrying. Sorry, guys, we haven't figured that one out yet. Get in line. No, you can get in line once we figure it out. We're just figuring out how to do it, microscopically with a little fiber optic thingy. And you can be inseminated through the rectum. The line of guys just disappeared. Unless you know something that I don't, women will be responsible for carrying and then delivering the baby on Mars. Men can continue to sit outside and smoke, pace, or, I guess, tweet. Can you imagine being on Mars, tweeting something, and getting thrown off that island? That'd suck. Well, I guess the vacuum of space would just do that. Anyway, so women, obviously, and the muscles and the bones, and, well, how would the woman, if the gravity, okay, well, things are going to, and it's 9 months, yeah, well, you're up there at least, yeah, okay, how long did it take to get? Well, it takes months to get, okay, fine. I cannot believe we actually wrote a paper about how are we going to have sex and how are we going to have kids, and once we do, they could be a new species. So, and again, could a mothers on my planet bear children? Fathers pay for it all. In more ways than one. And, so, ladies, okay, well, then you're going to have to do this. But even here on the planet Earth, any one of 101,000 things or 101,000 things could or could not happen during a, quote, healthy pregnancy. Paper also examining the inherent challenges of bolstering the small colony of settlers on the planet. The concept of love is going to have to take a back seat now to survival. Men and women will be paired up by their biology rather than emotion. Some of you may not be allowed to have children because of, quote, get this, undesirable traits that are a risk to the colony as a whole. Boy, if that don't smell like genetics, I don't know what does. And if you don't know what genetics smells like, you might want to read Orwell's 1984 or Brave New World by, I can see his name. It'll come to me here in a second. It'll come to me in a second. We don't have time. We have to go to a break. I'm Scooter McGee, and we'll be back.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
Gotta get a better angle.
John, what are you doing?
I was in an accident yesterday, and my insurance adjuster wanted me to use my smartphone to snap a couple of pictures of the damage. Then I gotta send it over to them. He said they'd write me an estimate and have the money in my account today.
Wait a minute. How could they possibly write an honest and accurate estimate from pictures?
They can't. And why would they? Hi, I'm Mike from Auto Collision Specialists. The insurance companies are at it again. This time they're using your smartphone to rip you off. I've been in the business of repairing cars most of my life. Even with my 30 years of estimating experience, I can't write an accurate estimate from pictures. When I tell you taking pictures of the damage and sending it to your insurance company is a bad idea, you better believe it. If you've had an accident, insist that someone from the insurance company and the body shop of your choice physically examines your car. Don't let the insurance companies use your smartphone to outsmart you.
Auto collision specialists will take care of that.
I'm a cool guy. I listen to hard rock and pay attention to sports.
And watch science fiction.
I go to the gym to get ripped.
And the Nerd Store in downtown Greeley at 807 8th Street for a good game of D&D with my friends.
I drink beer and eat steak.
And peruse the selection of comic books and other nerdy items at the Nerd Store.
I have no time for nerds.
But you spend plenty of time at the Nerd Store in downtown Greeley.
Not true.
You were there until 10 almost every night last week.
Shut up, brain.
The Nerd Store, where everyone is welcome. Even closet nerds.
Cutting-edge commentary from the edge of reality. The Scooter McGee Show is back on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Hey, welcome back. I am Scooter McGee. Welcome back to the Scooter McGee Show right here on 1310 KFKA. Find us on the World Wide Web, 1310kfk.com. Join in on the discussion or chime in on any of the stories I've discussed tonight. 877-353-1310. That call toll free, 877-353-1310. Or live and local, 970-353-1310. All the stories, again, we're covering here tonight live from the CRP 4x4 studios. We've still got a third hour to go. This next story, coming off the Daily Star in the United Kingdom. Silent killer lasers from the Chinese. They now say can eliminate aircraft. This is tensions between China and the United States relatively high when it comes to the South China Sea and China's attempt to expand through the creation of said islands to expand out their coverage and availability of reach. Chinese company Poly Technologies showing off its new bit of next age tech at a military exhibition in Kazakhstan this past week. The laser is called the Silent Killer. It is able to obliterate. Now, it can do it right now. It can reach out about 300 plus yards. 328 yards is its maximum reach right now. and it can hit unmanned drones. It is, however, only able to target slow-moving, low-flying, small-sized targets currently in the latest version they have. The ability of the, quote, silent killer laser, not only to be able to knock out a target at up to 328 yards, but it can also jam incoming electronic attacks, effectively making a hack to it impossible. So it essentially now flies with its own weird bubble that prevents any signal getting back into it to potentially manipulate it. The weapon is capable of being mounted onto mobile vehicles as well as warships, according to the developers at this arms sale or arms exposition in Kazakhstan. But in addition, it has obvious military applications. Celebrities who are worried about drones taking pictures of them in their homes are now interested in this. You know what, honey? Let's not go to Cannes this year, the film festival. There's this arms deal show going on over in Kazakhstan. I think you'd dig this. The advancement in laser technology coming just weeks after the United States military chiefs now warning fighter jet pilots to use extreme caution near the Chinese base because the Chinese pointed out, look, the lasers we got, you're not going to like them. We can shoot down and take down your aircraft. We can jam their signals, knock it off. There have been multiple lasing events involving high-powered lasers in the area, for example, Northeast Africa. Federal Aviation Administration claimed the lasers had been detected at a site in Djibouti, near Northeast Africa. Use extreme caution when transmitting near that area. That was one of the warnings they gave out. But Hollywood now, not Hollywood like the industry, but people in Hollywood, yeah, we're tired of the drones flying over, and we should get one of those. Yeah, we just got to go to Kazakhstan, kind of like at a flea market. Wow. All right, back to the Vatican. No, not back to the... How do we go back to the Vatican? We didn't cover Italy yet. What? What do you mean we don't have time? No, we got a third hour. All right. We'll get to the Euro skeptics here in the next hour. First story, sadly, back to the Vatican. The Chilean bishop story is just not going away, and it shouldn't go away. Coming out of Santiago, Chile. Pope Francis, earlier today, 5/31/18, promising never again to the Chilean Catholics who have been scarred by the culture of the clerical sexual abuse for decades and the cover-up. The widespread scandal has devastated the credibility of the Catholic Church in Chile. And again, 10 days ago, tomorrow would be 2 weeks. 13 days ago, the Chilean bishops, in a public statement, said how very sorry they were. They were sending their letter of resignation, and with very smugness, then said after the fact, well, it's still up for the Pope to even accept our letter of resignation. Then the Pope said, I've got your letter, but I don't accept your letter of resignation. Then we had a plane crash that had some of the the priests on it. So now in a letter to all Chilean Catholics, Pope Francis is praising the victims of the abuse in the country of Chile. He's praising them for persevering in bringing the truth to light, despite the decade-long attempts by the Vatican and all church officials to discredit them. I mean, talk about a post hole digger up your... What kind of message is that to send to the people of Chile? I praise you for your perseverance and bringing the truth into the light, despite everything we did for decades to cover it up. He then went on to promise, in fact, vow, never again will this happen. I quite honestly and quite frankly and candidly don't know how he can even make that comment. It's absurd to think that. The Vatican is an unbelievable cesspool of a barrel full of maggots, feeding left on a few rotten apples. But His Holiness says, nope, that's it. Promise. Never again. U.S. getting ready to impose steel tariffs now on the European Union from midnight now after talks have broken down regarding that. So we'll kick off the final hour of the show with that headline. And then, yes, so Italy. So, yes, the steel tariffs now on the EU. That just flipping over now on the East Coast 1 hour since. It's just out coming up on 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, midnight in the Midwest. Pushing 11 p.m. here from the CRP 4x4 studios. And pushing the 10 o'clock hour on the West Coast. So, yeah, let's get stretch your legs, have a Coke and a smoke, go grab somebody you love or lust, and in a non-misogynistic, non-violent way, give them a kiss. Or give them a hug. Or just give them one of those, hey, do you want to go fool around kind of looks? Never worked at my house either.